We don't talk about
Yeah, I think it's just a 2 to 4 player game. Okay.
not talk about war games.
Okay.
In this family, we do not talk about
We do
war
not.
games. Watch out for ghosts to roam into your
Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel today. My name is Carly.
And I'm Addie the Ghost Great.
This is Addie the Ghost. And today we're going to be reviewing the 2 to 4 player game, The Attic Monster from Roast and Toast Games. The Attic Monster is a cooperative game where players will be working together to try to move their ghosts around this kind of like tile area, trying to find gems and keys, trying to make their way to the top of this little house and defeat the little monster that has kicked them out of their house. So normally we kind of go into a general overview of how this game plays, but this game is so simple to play, we're actually just going to kind of walk you through what you're basically doing on this turn.
It's
on your
literally
game.
so easy. Yeah, my brother's he's about to turn 4 in like a few days. And he's only 3 right now. And I actually think that this is so easy so he can actually play.
We could probably sit and walk him through this, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. So at the beginning of the game, everybody picks a little ghost character.
This is my favorite. Look at its mouth. You can't rely on the mouth.
So cute. It's like a Pac-Man ghost. And everybody is starting at the beginning of this board area. Now on your turn, essentially all you are doing, the only thing that you're doing is actually rolling dice. So you have a pair of dice here, you roll it, and these dice will tell you what to do.
An X means it doesn't exist. What is it?
An X means a miss.
Yeah, a miss.
And then there are little footprints that allow you to move one location.
And the arrows mean you can flip over one.
Means you can flip over a tile. Some of these tiles will give you gems, which are very beneficial, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, they help you defeat the monster.
Yep, they help you defeat the monster eventually. Some tiles will be keys, and again, you want these keys to help unlock certain rooms in the house.
Yeah, because if you don't get the keys, that will be bad.
Yes. There are also some traps. So some of these locations are actually traps that when you flip them over and you're on it, you actually get stuck on that location and you lose a turn, which really sucks. There also are little catapults that you'll flip over that help launch you to other sides of the board. Some tiles allow you to flip over other tiles, or some tiles give you an extra little footprint so you get to move an additional space.
Like on the dice, this yellow one with the arrow and a star means you can flip over anyone on the board.
Yes.
Since I'm over here, I could technically flip over this one in the grave. And looks like it's also this. So that means when you step on it, you also get to do this.
Yes. So as you move through the board, you will be flipping over tiles and then potentially activating those abilities, all in the hopes of kind of trying to find there's 4 keys, right?
Yeah, there's 1,
keys.
2, 3, 4.
Yes.
The butterfly, the eye, the rose, and then the cute little fishy, which is my favorite.
It's a cute one. You're trying to find all of the keys and hopefully as many of the gems as you can possibly find. Now, after everybody has gone through and has done an action, then it's actually what happens is one of the face-up tiles that nobody is on actually gets removed from the board and gets added to the monster. Now, why these tiles are important
is that's because how much power he has.
Yes, so
which is bad.
Yes, so every round that goes by, the monster is potentially getting more and more powerful. Now, you can mitigate this a little bit by, if you flip over a tile that's not really useful for you, somebody can use one of their flipping tile actions to re-flip that over. Because what happens is the monster only gains strength if a tile is flipped over that a ghost is not on. So you kind of want to keep that in check. Try your best to flip over tiles, but maybe also re-flip them over if you don't need them, just so the monster doesn't gain strength
when it's his turn. Do you want me to tell you guys a secret that actually is weird?
Yes.
The catapults don't help you actually. Because they gotta look at all the trees and go all the graves. Versus if you got on the catapult and you miss all the keys behind you, the land behind you could just get the sword and the monster could have it all.
That's true.
So,
you definitely want to be flipping over as many tiles as you can because you want to find those keys and those
If you don't find the keys, you can't unlock the doors to get to fight the monster.
So you will be moving through this board, and eventually you will get to the very end. Now, when you get to the end, you use your little footprint, whenever you roll a footprint, to actually move in to this little house here. And you will be moving through the rooms, trying to find the final key that unlocks the monster at the top. And the way you move through the rooms is by using the little keys to unlock the door. So for example, this flower key unlocks this door. So you could enter this room and see if the final key to the attic is in that room. So after you're in the house and you find that final key to the monster, that is what basically triggers the end of the search phase, and then you move on to like the final battle phase. Yep, and when the final battle phase, you essentially just take all of the tiles that are in the monster's house. Again, this equals the monster's strength. However many crystals that you've found during the game, you actually can subtract one tile, making the monster weaker. And then basically all that it comes down to is dice roll. You're going to be rolling, and for every success you will remove a tile. And if by the end of everybody rolling dice, all the tiles are gone, then that means you have successfully defeated the monster, and all the ghosts get to reclaim their little spooky mansion back from the monster.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic. Essentially all you're going to be doing is rolling dice. What we're going to do now though is we're going to kind of jump into our final thoughts of this game, starting with everything that we liked about it. So Addie, what did you enjoy about the attic monster?
I love the detail. Look how cute the ghosties are.
Addie really loved the artwork in this game, huh?
Yeah, I really liked like the keys and stuff.
The keys? Mm-hmm.
But the house is like so cute because instead of just like looking forward and you can only see the background, I thought it was really clever. So if you look that way, you can actually see like the detail that way. And it's also pretty cool because I don't think I ever played a game like that the game pops out of itself and you can actually move up onto that.
Yeah, so it's fun that the game box, you can actually store it just like this as well. So you literally just open it up and then the box itself becomes a part of the game, which you really
so
liked.
Cool.
Huh? Something that I really liked is it was kind of fun to move through this area and just be flipping over tiles. It kind of gives you that like dopamine hit. It's like, okay, what's going to be under this one? And then if you're being really strategic about gameplay and re-flipping over tiles just so the monster doesn't gain strength, it kind of turns into a little bit of a memory game, a little bit.
I love memory match.
Sometimes,
because I'm the best at trio, obviously.
Yeah, I know you are. Because sometimes, like if you were stuck back here, for example, and this tile had flipped over, you could be like, you know what, I think I'm going to move onto this tile and flip it over because I'm pretty sure there's a catapult there, which would catapult me here, which is where I need to be. So there's a little, I mean, not too much, but there could be a little bit of memory if you're playing this game strategically. But yeah, it was just fun just to kind of move through, flipping over tiles, give you a little bit of that dopamine hit, trying to find the crystals and the keys. Something else that I enjoyed too is that there were a set number, you know that there are a set number of keys in either the forest, the graveyard, or this final, I think these are like the gates to the house. So once you find that key, you can choose at that point, okay, should we move completely? Here. It's okay. Should we move? Okay, you can get some water. Should we move completely from the forest? Like, do you think we've gathered enough crystals to make it worth it, and we can just move right into the graveyard and try to find those keys that are there?
And then once we go into the graveyard to go into the door.
Yeah, so it kind of, it's nice because you kind of have that knowledge beforehand.
I also agree with you. I also liked how you were like moving and you're like, is this a key? I like doing this thing where I like drag my hands over and because sometimes I pretend like it's like a magnet and like this one and I like flip it over, but it's like, yay, it's a key, but sometimes that's happen. And I think it's really fun just to like roll dice because I really like rolling dice.
Because this game is essentially just dice rolling, it's very approachable for young kids. This is a game that really doesn't need much explanation. It's you roll the dice and then based on the result, you basically just do what it says.
Yeah.
So this is a really good game for young kids. It's good that it's a cooperative game. The whole family can kind of work together. Doesn't have a heavy rule set or a lot that you kind of have to worry about. Like Addie said, we even played this with Jamie, who again, it's simple enough that he felt like he was involved in the game. Yeah. Sometimes we play family games and Jamie just kind of has to sit off to the side or help hold cards or do something. This was a game that Jamie could again, still with our help a little bit, but he was able to be equally as involved as everybody else around the table, I think. Yeah. Halloween and fall time is like my favorite time of year. It's my favorite season.
My favorite is summer and winter because I was born in the winter and I love snow.
Oh, okay. Well, my favorite is fall and Halloween time, and so I just really liked the theme in this game. It kind of brought me those Halloween autumn vibes.
Yeah, I can see us like playing this game for like the whole year of fall.
All right, so now let's go ahead and chat a little bit about stuff that we might not have liked about the game or stuff that wasn't your favorite. Was there anything that you thought of kind of right off the bat?
Let's see. I like everything about it.
You like everything about it. Okay, well, I have a couple stuff that I'll mention.
Oh, I remember. It's like one thing that I doubt about this game is that the monster doesn't really do anything to you except stealing. What are these called?
Stealing the tiles.
Stealing tiles, and he only battles you at the end of the game. And that makes me a little mad because I wish the monster would have been being like, okay, you flip over something, and then we have to move back a space or something like that, or something to make the game a little harder.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Because he doesn't really do much.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just takes tiles and then he battles you at the end of the game. Something else that I don't really like about this game is that once he takes a tile, that's just one more spot that you can't move. So pretend he took this whole thing, okay? So this whole row is out. And I was still back here. Now I can't move around because you're not allowed to go into the block space like that.
You could potentially use a
portal.
A portal?
Or a launcher. But if there's no portal or launcher, then you're just stuck there for the whole game.
And that's totally true, Addie.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. You really do need to be flipping tiles over strategically and definitely working together so you don't become trapped, because that could happen. Something that I wanted to mention is this game, it doesn't really feel different game to game. You are essentially kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
All you really do is roll dice and then do whatever it says. So it is very simple. Again, I think for young kids.
Yeah, this game's pretty perfect for them.
Yeah, I think it works really well. I think for adults, I kind of lost my interest a little bit about halfway through the game. And in subsequent plays, I'm like, okay, we're essentially just rolling dice. The game doesn't feel terribly different game to game. There definitely are times where you just roll misses.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing you can really do about it.
If I rolled 2 misses, pretend I rolled and I got both of these. Then I just missed out on my turn.
Another thing that was a little bit, again, just kind of didn't have the oomph that I was kind of hoping for.
What's that oomph?
That little extra something. Was the battle phase, because it doesn't really feel like a battle.
Yeah, I haven't played Wonder and what is it?
Wonderland's War.
I haven't played Wonderland's War, but we played halfway through that, and that feels a little more battle-y to me than this, where you just count up by points a little bit. It doesn't really feel to me.
Yeah, because it's just okay, you have a crystal, based on the amount of crystals you have at the battle phase, then you just remove that many tiles, and then you just roll dice. Everybody gets to roll the dice, and then that's that. So it doesn't, I mean, it's called a battle phase. I would just call it more just a resolution phase or something, because it doesn't feel like you're actually battling the monster. All right, so we've kind of chatted a lot about this game. Let's go ahead and jump into kind of our final thoughts and ratings for this game. Would you like to go first, Addie, or would you like me to go first?
I think you should go first.
Okay, so for me, I do think that this is an approachable game for kids. I think it is a good game for kids. It kind of is a good Halloween spooky game. So if you're kind of looking for a game with that theme,
and if your kids are really scared of spooky jump scares and stuff, this game is perfect because this isn't really that scary for kids.
Yeah, it's just about cute little ghosts trying to go back and.
Yeah, it's not rah rah monsters under your beds. It's not spiders creeping on the hall. It's not anything that would probably scare your kids. It's just cute little ghosties that are very nice, just trying to get back into their home instead of jump scare monsters jumping and spiders all over the place. It's
I agree.
Very good for kids and stuff. Maybe 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, that's a good thought, Addie. So I agree with all of that. I think for adults, like I am rating this based on my personal like preference and how often I would want to pull this off the shelf. So for me, I'm going to give this a 6.5. I feel like I'm in between a 6.5 and a 7, but I think like if I were to see like, hey Addie, let's sit down and play a game, I probably wouldn't initially turn to this. I would play this because I know my kids really enjoy it, not necessarily because I enjoy it, if that makes sense. It's just a little bit too simple, a little bit too repetitive. But I do think that for kids, I think this is a fun one.
Yeah. I think I should do a 7.12.
A 7.12?
I don't really necessarily want to rate it 8, but I don't really necessarily want to rate it a 7. Like, if an 8 was here and a 7 was here, I would just put it, like, right in the middle of it.
Okay, so like a 7.5.
Yeah.
So what were the reasons why you rated it a 7.5?
I don't know, it just feels a little too easy for me.
But having said that, you've been asking to play this a lot lately.
Yeah.
And you have really enjoyed it. So I think that's where that little extra, like, you still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
It's just probably not, like, your favorite game of all time.
Yeah, like Trio.
But you still,
like
yeah,
Trio,
like Trio.
Or like Cobble and Frog. Frog,
Unmatched.
Unmatched, or like Park Avenue. I can be like, hey mom, do you want to pull it off the shelf and like set up the table and like everything? Mm-hmm. I bet that's what I would say about this. I would be like, this would be like third place for me to say, hey mom, do you want to pull it off the table and like go play it?
Yeah, good. Okay, so your official rating is a 7.5. Love it. Okay. All right, so that kind of rounds out our review for the Attic Monster. I hope that this kind of gives you a little bit of idea of how this game plays and operates, and again, our thoughts on this game. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Roast and Toast Games for sending us this copy to review for you today. If you enjoyed this review and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it means so much if you could do that. Really helps support us in everything that we're doing over here. But until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later. What's the Ghostbusters song? Da-na-da-na-da-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah. Goodbye. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. We're gonna get copyright strike.